I think we should start under here. Old Jeeps with small block Chevys are my favorite. Look at that thing. It just seems so right.
So we're gonna just wow them with performance. I want to put a blown small block in this thing. I've always wanted to see a 671 on a Jeep, and we're gonna do it.
I know, those guys are all about silly drivetrain mods and axles and all that waste of time.
Reliability and suspension.
We can just go for straight to horsepower, man. That's what we need to do.
Exactly what's gonna happen.
Oh,
but
yeah.
I literally haven't laid eyes on this. In fact, I've already noticed something super sketchy right here with the steering. We need to drive it around and figure out how terrible it actually is so that we know what we need to work on before we start to make it worse.
How's the steering?
It actually feels a lot better than it looks.
Really?
Yeah.
I think we should still fix it though.
We're gonna have to prioritize.
Yeah.
What does it take to beat Fred and Dave versus what doesn't matter? Because there's a lot of badness here, but
I don't know. I think we could practically just drive it over the way it is and beat those guys.
I think you might be right. That's why we need to make it worse. They're fourth gear. Oh man, it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see if the brakes work. Ready?
Yeah. Stops on a dime.
Not bad.
You want to try out the four-wheel drive functions?
I was thinking we probably should.
Yeah.
Okay, ready?
Yeah.
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 So that's four-wheel drive.
Yeah.
And then, is there another one for four low?
Go ahead and pop the clutch in and out a little bit. No, that's it.
Okay, so clearly the transfer case shifter needs some attention. This is a Blueprint Engines 383, what they call a short block plus, which means it's a complete assembled short block, plus it's got a damper and front cover and cam and oil pan and stuff. It also came with valve train. This thing is actually, they call it a 383, but it's 377 cubic inches because it's a 4-inch bore, because it's a brand new Blueprint block. So 4-inch bore, 3.75-inch stroke. The cam is a hydraulic roller. It's 221, 226 at 50 on a 110.
I like that.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's got forged pistons, 18cc dishes in it, and with the head gaskets we're using, and a 64cc head. Plus, we should probably check the deck height. It's in the neighborhood of 9.5 to 1. I bet you in truth it's like 9.25 to 1. So this part's all assembled. We're gonna put it together with what we have over here, which is leftover parts from our Engine Masters show that Steve and I do together. This is Trick Flow Specialties 195cc intake runner aluminum cylinder heads. And we're gonna install a Weiand 671 supercharger on a Weiand manifold. And it's got a couple of, I think, 750 carbs on it for this deal.
Do you see where the steering shaft is in this outrigger?
Yeah, get a Sawzall and cut this outrigger right there. Done.
Now the transmission needs to come down.
Okay, so we are lightly rested on the ears now.
Yeah.
And the transmission needs to be pushed towards the passenger side. So I'm gonna attempt to do that, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there we go. Oh, mint, okay. I also got some fiddling around on the engine, putting some more accessories on the front and all that stuff. But this morning, the big challenge was gonna be the flywheel. This is our brand new Blueprint Engines 383, and it's got what's called a one-piece rear main seal. When they went to this in, what, 1985, I think, something like that, they changed the design of the back of the crankshaft, which meant that they also needed to change the balance. And so that means that it also takes a different flywheel, which was the problem. And I panic ordered a bunch of flywheels last night and ended up getting actually the right one. And here it is right here. The pattern is gonna be different here, whether it's one piece or two piece, but also it takes a special extra bolt-on weight. So I ordered that separate McLeod package of weights on here, and I'm going through their hieroglyphics trying to figure out which weight goes in what bolt holes so that we can slam this on the back of the engine and then get this thing into the Jeep. Got fuel, stop, and here's the leak I was anticipating, right there. I knew it.
You knew it.
I knew it. Okay.
Oh, yeah! That is wind! Awesome. It sounded good too.
Sounded great.
Oh yeah.
I just didn't want to leave it running with no water in it, but we're all good now.
Wow. Forever.
Awesome.
You had the ignition dialed in, bro.
That is how a new engine startup should go.
How's it feel?
Pretty good. Way better than it was. Overall, this thing is way better than what we started with. This steering in particular is a massive improvement, and the rear drive shaft isn't falling out. Now, the suspension, still not great, and I'm hoping to make up for that with huge horsepower, but we still have a problem. We haven't sorted out that transfer case shifter deal, and right now, it's stuck in low range.
Oh, stop!
Whoa!
Backwards!
We have no front-wheel drive. What do you got going on over there?
Try that.
Neutral.
Okay.
No front. Okay, Steve, I have to tell you the real reason why I want to race the Challenger against my blown Jeep.
I'm all ears.
When we did that shootout with the guys from Dirt Every Day, I was humiliated about how those guys outran me with their stock flat fender.
I felt humiliated for you,
I
too.
know, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I was stuck in low range, and so the thing just wouldn't accelerate. It would just go right to the rev limiter. I had no acceleration. So now I've got the thing in two-wheel drive high, and then the shifter broke off the transfer case.
That's all you need is a two-wheel drive high.
I know, so that's what I'm planning to do, to bring the violence.
Yeah.
Show what the Jeep can actually do, but I got to admit, I'm still not that confident I'm going to outrun your junkyard 360 Challenger.
I feel like Freiberger's kind of put the funk on me here because my lane is just a mud mash all the way from start to finish, whereas his has a little bit of moisture at the starting line and then it's bone dry right up to the stripe. So I think I'm at a little bit of a disadvantage. I might have to request a lane change later on.
All right, I just agreed to give Dulcich the jump because I've got the blown 383 small block in my Jeep and he's got the junk used 360.
With no thermoquad.
And keep in mind, I'm in two-wheel drive. I do not have the 4x4 advantage.
Yeah, that's like trying to race you with one arm tied behind my back.
It's true. I have no smack talk. I mean, my blown Jeep lost to a bone stock flat fender with a V6 in it. I got nothing to say, just action. Carburetors didn't like the bouncing, but I got him. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. I got no gears. The Jeep won't move. Transfer case popped out of gear, and the shifter fell off the transfer case. So I'm done. Oh, that's no fun. I gotta lie on the ground and figure out how to make this thing move again.
Oh, look at this. Do you still call it a victory? Look at these parts of
this is carnage.
Drive shaft and U-joints broken everywhere.
There's my slip yoke.
Oh,
There's
look.
the back of my transfer case.
It actually broke the shaft.
Yeah.
Oh, you are boned.
My Dana 20 is history.
Oh, man. Wow, Freiberger, that's a pretty serious failure.
It had a lot of power. You know what's interesting? Is look, it's right at the finish line. It broke when I lifted.
Yeah.
How weird.
Wow, that literally snapped the output shaft.
Just think, I was busy braking this while you were still way back there.
No, I was closing in very quickly.
Oh, no, you were way back there.
Do you see how much mud there is there? I mean, that is a pit. And look at your place. Bone dry.
That's probably why it broke, because I hooked up. Okay, that's way better than expected.
Yeah, fixed.
The blown 383 runs mint. No rat-eaten wires or anything like that, so that's good. But while troubleshooting it to make it run, I discovered we need a gas cap, the whole fuel system is garbage, and the throttle linkage won't go to wide open. And fixing that will probably be detrimental to the health of my axle shaft, but you can't have medium open throttle. It just doesn't work that way on Roadkill. Now the carnage begins right here, where the output shaft on the Dana 20 broke, which let that drive shaft just fling around everywhere, beat up my cute little Flowmaster a little bit, spread out the ears on my rear differential yoke, and exit the vehicle. To begin the repair, I'm gonna take off this output housing and we're gonna see what we've got. There we go. So you can see the broken stub in there, the output shaft, just totally hammered. Advanced Adapters sells a whole new assembly like this, which has a bigger output on it, so theoretically beefier. So I'm gonna send him a picture of this and tell him what I need. This is the drive shaft that we rescued out of the field after the race. It's broken. You can see it has the broken piece of the output shaft still in there. It takes a yoke with a nut on it, which establishes the preload on the tapered roller bearing that's in this output housing, but not when it's broken in half. But anyway, that gives you an idea about how all these parts go together and how they come apart and how they explode. This is a miracle drive shaft. We went to Mike at Driveline Service of Fresno in California, and he was like, oh, is this for the CJ-5? I remember when you guys chucked the drive shaft out of it. So he was able to make a 13¼ inch drive shaft, which is super dinky. And it's got the bracket that's gonna bolt to our companion flange, a CV joint, which I'll explain, a slip yoke, and then of course, the U-joint that goes to the rear end. This is really not enough travel for your typical 4x4. If this thing had a lot of spring articulation, it would droop the rear end and probably fall apart. We're gonna hope that doesn't happen with this thing. So what's a CV joint all about? The thing is, normally when you set up a rear drive shaft, you want the transmission or the transfer case and the pinion to have equal and opposite angles on the U-joint so that they operate correctly. The problem is, on the Jeep, they're so far apart that that angle is too steep. And if you actually drooped the rear end, it would get even worse. So what we do is use a CV joint, also called a double cardan joint, and it has got 2 U-joints in it. So here, the equal and opposite angle is in that double cardan joint itself, so it'll turn smoothly. When you've got a CV joint in your rear drive shaft, you want to take the pinion and point it straight to the output on the transfer case. So this thing is gonna go in here like this, CV like that, and it's gonna be home free. Okay, Steve. No more 2-piece drive shaft. It's in there. It's highly questionable about binding and collapsing too much and extending too much, but it's there.
My level of concern is Freiburger.
Really? Full Freiburger?
Yeah, very low.
Great.
Yeah.
I say let's head straight to the sand wash. Yeah. Unbuckling for safety.
Freiburger, you always go for the extra degree of difficulty, 2-wheel drive.
I know, it was fun. And rev limiter, did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It's pretty good.
They're bouncing off the rev limiter, but the 383 is performing flawlessly.
Want to try and break it?
No, it's unbreakable. It's like the Titanic. Oh, wait a minute.
We're gonna hit it hard.